Hello, everybody. Just realized I forgot to put on my lips. This is nothing new, though. If you're new, I frequently forget to do this until after I start the live stream. So I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend and that you got everything you wanted to accomplish. I'm excited. My desk, it's not okay. It's still cleaned off, but I added stuff to it. So I want to show you guys that. And then like my tool caddy, I want you guys to get like a good feeling on what it's looking like. So I'm going to move the camera. If you got seasick, look away for a moment. So my desk is all the way cleaned off, but I have these two Lazy Susans on my desk, and one will have medals in it, and the other one eventually is going to house all of my like current beadbox stuff, as well as just the items I use a lot quite frequently will be in the other one. And then this is my tool caddy, you guys. And I've had this for a while now, and I absolutely love it. So there is a rod here, and then there's a second one that's further back, if you can see it. Yeah. And those are meant to house like your beading wire or your wire, whatever else. My problem is unless there's bronze or like beadsmith, you have full size tools like this or the wubbers. They don't fit comfortably on there because it's not long enough in here, so it doesn't stay right. They get knocked over all the time. So I put that up here. One of the items that should already be up here. I thought I reset my desk, but I guess not. My 6-set bail making pliers. So there's that. There's a little shelf over here, and that's where I keep like my other tools, my bead reamer, my knotting tool, my thread burner, my hole punch, and then those are my cribs from Softlex. And then on the top, I have my bead along crib, I have my caliper, I have my file, stuff like that. Then this is my light box, so it's right here, so I don't have an excuse not to photograph anymore. And then this is my other shelf, and I love this shelf because the top ones pull out. I've been looking everywhere for this. But the top ones pull out. So I have like, this is my photo printer. This is my like mailing label maker. I have this one. There's two more down here that I'm a label girl. And then I have like my 4x6 mailing labels here, as well as photo paper and the refills for my printer. But I love the fact that these shelves pull out. Steve's gonna put a backer on them though, up against the back, because stuff was getting knocked off on a very regular basis. So eventually though, this will be behind me. So eventually the goal is that my desk will be facing, I don't know how to explain it, this way, like towards the window. And then I will have all of that behind me. So it will be a lot easier like my bead boxes, like all my gemstone boxes will be down there. Those are my silicone ones on the bottom, and then all of my like glass jars. So that is the goal. Eventually we're going to put up another shelf in there so that there's not all that wasted vertical space between the top of the risers and then the upper shelf of the closet. So this, if we keep it, will be going over there where that bookshelf is right now. That's where all of my bead boxes used to be, but they outgrew it, and this will be gone. I don't like having this in here. It drives me nuts. My desk is an antique desk, so I love it because like it has this. There are supposed to be two of these, but I needed more room. So we took some extra fence posting from when they redid the RV gate and we put them under there. And then I have the secondary drawer right here. But I'm not really able to use it right now. So when we turn it, I would like to have that next to me, but it won't go back right here because otherwise there's like just enough room for me to sit, and that's all. There's like no extra breathing room, anything once that drawer because it's, I don't know, it's, let's see, what is it? It's like 19 inches. So 19 and 19, that's already close to 40 inches right there. And while this desk is huge, it's not like a monster. But Steve has tried to buy me a new desk a couple of times. And I'm like, nope, nope, nope. If anything, this puppy will be refinished and we'll be back there. Okay. Now that I went over all that, let me say hello to all of you. Hello, Barbara. Hi, Miranda, Dawn, Dominique, Mary, Roseanne. Oh, you got the craft wire. Good. But not the one for me. It'll probably be there tomorrow, Rosanna. With all the storm, everything got backed up. Yes, I really like these Lazy Susans. They're a nice size. Like, they're a really good size. I believe that they are 16 or maybe 18 inches. Well, pull out your ruler again, Heather. I would say that they're probably, maybe they're only 12 inches. However big they are, they're fabulous. They hold so many. Like I was sitting there stacking, like the reason they're all kind of like separated right now is because I was trying to put enough stuff in so that I'd be able to tell you. But of the small stackers, I'm going to say it would hold 30, if not more. And then the medium stackers all by themselves, you can get probably 20 in one of them. So they're very handy because I can spin them. I have my bead boxes right here so I can see them. And as I've said, I like doing it now because I can just like lay everything, I can unscrew them and lay them out rather than taking them in and out of dishes and all of that nonsense. So my mail got here right before, and so my Temu order came. I thought it's going to be bigger, but that's the way it always is. I got a new bust. I'm going to order the next size up of this because the problem is that unless you're doing like an 18-inch necklace, this is nowhere near enough real estate from here to here. And then I have some little, I'm gonna put some little eye pins in here so that I can hang earrings. For when it's a set, I got those. Here, let's go down to the mat and I'll show you what else I got. I decided to order, I need to put this on. Recording mode done. Okay. What was I say? I got some more tools, you guys, I love these. And this 2-piece set, I think was like $6. They're just bead reamers. I like them because like this one starts off so teeny tiny, but it's also long enough that you're not having to like do one side, then go to the other, then go back to the other side. Especially with pearls and the pearl dust gets trapped, it's ridiculous. And then this is the same thing, just on a larger scale. This is great for wood beads. And then I don't know what I'd use this for, but having 4 of these is worth the price that I paid, in my humble opinion, anyways. Because I've found them elsewhere, and they don't last as long, and the bit part is not long enough. Oops, there. I picked it up and then tried to close it. So that was the 2-pack I got. And then I just ordered some little ball head pins. And then I took a chance because I was curious. I saw these snowflake frames and I was curious if they were going to be flimsy, like the set you can get 200 of for like $15. I guess you get what you pay for. But those bend, whereas the beadsmith ones or beetle on ones, beadsmith beetle on, I don't know, they have more of the memory wire and they are soldered. That's how these are. So they come in the 3 sizes. So you get, where's the little? I think that's the biggest size. Now I don't know where the littles went. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm like, wait, where did it go? Okay, so they are soldered. They do have the memory wire like bounce back that the other ones did, and they're like a fourth of the price. So I took a chance. I only ordered one because I didn't want to order a bunch and have to go through the hassle of returning them. I will let you know once I started working with them what I think of it and how that goes. Dominica Lowercase, I forgot to. I will hold on. They really are. Especially if you like Xuron, you can tell when you go and look at it that it's literally there. It was made for Xuron tools because that's what they use in all of their like oh goodness. Sorry, I'm trying to find it for you guys. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Orders. Let's see. I believe they called it a tool caddy. Yes. So it is currently $26.04. I don't know what I originally paid for it, but it's a really good set, you guys. I am very careful about making recommendations, but I'm gonna show you. Oh, I have to have it open here if I want to do that. Dang it! Hold on. I want to show you their like packaging stuff so that you can see. Come on, just pop up. Thank you. Oh, they're sending me a text message apparently because I signed it in 2 different places in like no time at all. So they're like, wait, what? Okay, alrighty. I'm gonna pull it up on here as well. And then I'll share my screen so I can show you what I meant by the. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to StreamYard And we are going to screen share this one. Okay, so this is it. Says I purchased it in March, but as you can see right here, they actually used it. I didn't ask you to do that, sir. They actually use it for their stringing wire. So if you don't have really large tools that go down below, I completely, you know what? I found one of these hooks today. I could not figure out what it was or what it went to. And now I need to find it because I need to have it so that I can hang up my caliper. And something, oh, there's one on the other side already hung up. Okay, your girl's just blind, I guess. But anyways, as you can see, it's really nice. It's not, I mean, here they only have like 15 tools. I have like 40. So it's a really nice size. Here's the measurement, 15 inches long by 12 inches high, and it is 6.3 inches deep. So it's pretty good. It has the little ruler on the front. I mean, once you put tools in it, no, I guess it's still out, so you could use it, but I don't use it for that. There's just another view of it from on right. You can just see it's suitable for the stuff, and then you can just see. So that is the tool caddy. It's a very good piece. I think it is well worth the money that I paid for it. Hello, Renee and Cheryl. Cheryl, I'm going to call you after we're done. Hello, Dawn and Carolyn, Tina. Oh, and here's the link. Sorry. Do you know about the app called the Freebies? You can set an alert for it. Shows up for free, so you can put a search for that bus if that. Oh no, I have never heard about that. I'm gonna check that out. Okay, I believe you said hi to Renee. If I did, hello. Hi, Linda. Could you not see it? Were you guys not able to see it? Oh, goodness. I'm sorry. Here I was talking, thinking I was sharing it. I have to put it on the stage. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Now you can actually see it. Okay, here is the tool caddy. You can see that it's meant to have your stringing wire up here, your glues or other such things in the little cubby right there, all your tools straight across. Obviously, like I said, they have like 15 tools. I have like 40. So it's just my full size tools, like my wubbers, my heavy duty wire cutters, 6-step bell making pliers. Some of the cutters have thicker handles, so it's hard to get in. It doesn't take up much space. These are the little hooks that I was talking about, that I was like, wait, where's that? You get 2 of those, one per either side, or you can put both on one side, depending upon how you wanted to use it. And it's just showing you can put chain. Oh, guess you could use chain, tape, ribbon, whatever it is you want to hang on there. I would say that like the smaller spools of wire, like from Softlex and stuff, would go best on the lower rack, just so you can still see the colors of them. So you can see there's like a ruler right there. I don't use it like that, but it's very handy. It's nice to have. It is inexpensive. Like it's $26.04 right now. I do not recall what I personally paid for it, but that's the tool caddy. Like I said, I've been using it since August and I love it. So I got it on Amazon. So that was the link I posted. I'll post it again just so. I'm sorry that you guys did not see that. It was my intent that you be able to. So, no, I didn't get that from Temu. I got the Bead Smith is where the snowflakes are from. Okay, cool. Well, I'll let you know because it was literally $4 for the 15 snowflakes frames. So they are 16 something on Amazon right now for the like 3-piece set. So I got the bust from Temu, but the caddy I got from Amazon. And then I think we're all caught up here. So we should be able to go to what it is we're going to do today. If I can get my screen to cooperate, what is going on? Looks like somehow my layout that I use all the time is gone. Okay. I normally am bigger than that in the corner, but it's okay. All right, put my phone away. I don't even remember why I have that out still. So, like I said, I'll work with these and then I'll let you know. I plan on doing snowflakes throughout the year so that I can have like a big section of them. So today we are going to make a beaded necklace using the Suchow Jade pendant. I'll zoom in. I'm gonna try to find a different type of fabric, guys, because I know the upholstery fabric, when it moves, it can get a little whatever. So we're gonna use this Suchow Jade. Okay, yay, media opening soon then from Rosanna. Okay. Not sure. Hello, Gloria. Okay, what did you get? I also got some bust from Marketplace. All right, I'll have to check that out. I need some. I have one that looks like a little dress form, but it's little. So again, it doesn't really do the trick. So I was working on the second design video for the How I Design When Shopping Online video. And I pulled out the like green and the more green and yellowish tones of these, and I saw these and I saw the garden quartz from my Christmas boxes from Randy at Thunder Horse Descendants, and I think that they go together perfectly. They have the same like red tones and sparkles in them that the wreath also has, carved double-sided. So I did quite a few of the links already so that you guys don't have to watch me do all of that. But I'm going to teach you how to make these leather links. And I'm not going to do it like every other one. And obviously these are going to be trimmed. You could do it like the bead, the leather, the bead, the leather, but it's not necessary. And then I'm also going to attach it via a jump ring because I didn't want a lot of the pulling. This is 1mm leather. It's very good quality though. I mean, for a 1mm leather, it's an amazing 1mm leather. I'm not surprised. It's from Leather Cord USA. But so I figured like we would do 3 of the stones and then 1 of the leather, and then 3 of the stones and 1 of the leather. And I'm going to show you how to do a cat's paw knot on this using the leather, and then we will attach the leather and connect it here. So I'll just make some little loops after I attach it, and then I will put it on there. This is a way to get a leather necklace without having to Oh my goodness, what am I trying to say? Oh, without having large hole beads. That's where I was going with this. I'm sorry, guys. It was kind of a rough night, but I'm good now. I just could not get settled down last night for some reason. So, I did my links using 22 gauge bare bronze wire. If you are somebody whose copper or bronze or any of the bare wires seems to like start to tarnish early, I've heard that you can either wear gloves, which I like. I'm too tactile for that. And B, the other thing you can do is use hand sanitizer before you start working with it, to take off any excess oils on your hand. So I'm just gonna cut, we need 4 more of these little links. So I'm just gonna cut 4 little pieces of wire off of my spool here so that we can do that. And then I will go into the leather portion of this. I already have 4 made. I figured that I would show you twice, so then I would have 3 on this side, 3 on this side. That gives me the opportunity to show you how to do this knot twice. It is a barrel knot, but it's only wrapped twice on it, and when we get there, we get there. Okay, I like to work assembly line style, so all that means is that I like to do 1 step at a time until it's ready. So I just gather all of my wires till they're flush with each other right there. And then we're just using 1 little pebble, so we don't need much space. And I'm just gonna bend them over at the 90-degree angle, just like that. Then I'm going to switch to my bail making pliers, and I don't like to be completely vertical or completely horizontal. I like to be at an angle directly into the loop. I'm going to go up, over, and down, rotate my pliers, and push it the rest of the way. Then I'm going to put that down. I'm going to go to the next one. Up, over, and down, rotate the wire, and pull it back that way. And I have actually timed myself. Obviously, I allowed for that like weird nervous energy where all of a sudden you can't remember how you were doing this. But it is quite a bit faster, especially when you're doing like beaded chains like this. I don't know why I worry about putting lip, like any kind of lip color on my mouth, because it always seems to get gummy and I can't stand it. But yeah. Heather, what are you looking for? Oh, you're looking for your Metri Mouse pliers. Okay, so then I just grab onto this. I take it over to my dominant hand, my non-dominant hand, sorry. And then I just pull the wire up and around to do it. Now, if you just did like I did and kind of started the wire a little too low, just put your loop right in place and then you can scooch it down without it affecting the shape of the loop. So again, we're just going to put that in there. We're going to grab our wire. And pull it around. And you're just gonna, I only do the single wrap. I call this my hybrid loop. And when I say I don't mean that like I reinvented the wheel here. I just mean this is the way that I did it. I'm sure that there have been others in the past that have done this same tool. So, okay, then I have them all the way that I need them. I'm gonna grab my pliers or my cutters, and I'm gonna go in. I like to cut on the side. That way there isn't a front or a back, especially when I want to do like double-sided pieces. I really don't want there to be a front and a back at that point. And all I'm doing when I turn it up that way is that I get my plier in position and then I turn it up and make sure that like this wire didn't get down in the kink. I don't have any portion of the loop itself caught in the cutters, stuff like that. So like I said, I like to cut on the side of the loop. And when I did the strength test with these, I did the same thing and it worked just fine. Okay, so now I have 4 more little stones that I pulled out that I thought went very nicely with the Suchow jade. And I'm just going to put them on, and then I'm going to bend the wire over. Some people put all the stones on and then they go back and they do it. I have found that that is a waste of time for me. I can hold on to the pliers and put the stone on the wire all at once. So I don't really see the point of putting it back down on the mat in order to do it assembly line style. Not that I'm saying that doesn't work for other people, but for me, it has never worked for me to do it that way. So, and that's the best part about making your own jewelry is that you get to do that. So then I'm just going to start the loop again, up, over, down, rotate around. Now, this one may be a little bit more off-centered just because, especially when you're using a natural stone, pebble or something like that, you're not going to get be able to get into the curve as well as you would with those. So just watch it, and if you need to adjust to get it back, just do that. And then I gotta pull the wire back down. And then just pull the arm of the wire back down. And if you feel like your loop got a little messed up, just put it back on there, pull tight, and you'll get your loop formed. I had somebody ask why I didn't do my videos like this, to where I already have the designs figured out. When it's labor intensive like this, why I didn't have most of it finished. So I don't know though. You guys are gonna have to tell me what you think about that. If you guys prefer the long form videos over when I have them all done like this. Oh, there it is. I was like, I knew there was one more that I needed to wrap. I don't know. This is known as short format. When I'm doing the entire design live, that's known as long format. So I figured I'm gonna do a couple of tutorials like this. Oh, this one didn't get wrapped. And then, I will just put up a poll and find out which you guys prefer. If you prefer the long format because we just sit here and chat and bead, that's fine. Maybe there's a bit of both within my audience. So maybe I have a project mostly done like this one, and then when we're finished with this, they can hop off, and those who want to stay and continue to bead with me and watch the whole design process, I could do a second one for, which, however, it works. So yeah, we'll go from there. You should do whatever you like, Heather. Thank you. Yeah, I know, but I don't want people to like get stuck here watching it. So if we do like a short form the first time, then I feel like next it will be better. People who don't like watching the full thing can go. And we can go through the design process. Sometimes it's just the design process that drives them crazy, which I can understand a little bit because my design process changes as I go through a piece. So I can see where that might be a little annoying. So some people might just want to get to where I figured it out. Okay, so now we're going to go to the leather. Like I said, I already have 4 of these made. They're glued now, so I cut these. And I'll show you what I do. Oh, I almost got in trouble from Miss Linda. Oh, I went to pick up my cutters. I have some janky ones though. Name brand, but these didn't stay sharp enough for me. They like got dull very quickly. And I bought another pair thinking it was a fluke. It wasn't. And Linda's right. It's just like having fabric scissors. Nobody's allowed to touch the fabric scissors, right? Because the second you cut them with something else, you have reshaped the blades to cut for that rather than like wire. So, and I know that there's some waste, you guys, and I get it. If you're more, you have better dexterity in your hands, that's great. This actually can be used for a cute little earring. You just put a large hole bead on it. Grab one of the, let me see if I know I have them on here, right here. And this one, no. They've got to either be in here. I am excited to have all of my stuff like accessible where I know where it is. I'm just looking for that little like round thing that you put on it and you squish it into itself and then it hangs there. I know that I have one in here. It's just that like I said, I'm trying to separate everything out. And so I'm not always sure like if it got resorted or not. Should I just put them on? I don't know. If I see them while I'm going through this, I will stop and pull them out for you. But it's just like a round like a round like almost like a tube, but it's got an opening and then there's a loop up at the top. It's a cordon. It's a type of cordon, but you can use those and then you can make some really cute little dangle earrings with some large hole beads. Okay, so here's the thing. As I said, we're starting with 6-inch pieces of leather. I tried to get it down to 5 inches. And like I said, my dexterity in my hands is not what it used to be. So it wasn't working for me. So, okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a loop like so, and you're going to make a loop on this end. Then you're going to loop it back to go the other way. So now you have like a little oval right here with a piece of leather sticking out this way and a longer piece of leather on this side. You're gonna grab your tube bead, which of course mine is lost. I lose those things so easily. And then all of a sudden I'll find like 10 of them all at the same time. Okay, just your standard tube bead. I like using a straight one over a round one. I find that it works better for me. So I'm just gonna lay my barrel knot tube across the pieces of leather. I'm gonna take the long one and I'm gonna come up and around once and then again twice towards my hand that's holding it. Once I get it around there, I'm gonna go in the tube bead and I like to try to push it down as much as possible prior to pulling it through. Then you're just going to slowly start tightening up this piece of leather, the string, as it might be, trying to keep your loops as easy as or as not easy as so they're both the same size. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry. And you have your little leather bow. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, yeah, Carolyn, don't even try about it. I know, Linda, but see, I changed. I stopped. I didn't actually do it. So I have another piece of leather that I can show you real quick. I hope this doesn't get confusing because I'm also going to show you a cat's paw knot in a moment, which is like the Walmart Target version. So we're in the Target version of it. So we're going to grab one piece of leather and we're going to fold it over like so. And then we're going to fold it back over itself. I did not leave myself enough leather that time. Okay. You're going to fold it back over itself. Then you're going to take your barrel knot and you're going to pinch everything together. You're going to come up over the top. You don't want to go this way. It won't work. So from the back up over the top, and then you're going to rotate over the next way. Then move oh, it just came undone. I knew that was going to happen. I felt it happening. Okay. Again, lay our barrel knot tube over the little loop that we made. I'm going to go around once, around twice. Then I'm going to come up. I cut my tube beads too far forward. I'm going to go in through the tube bead. I'm going to push it out and I'm going to pull off my barrel knot tube. And then I like to pull this until it's not all the way tight, but tight enough that when I let go, it's not going to just go and break every which way. So we're just going to pull, making sure that our loops are about the same size. And you can always adjust one of them. Like this, if I pull on this, it will adjust the size of this loop. So if you're gonna keep one a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, so maybe you can get it with 5 inches rather than the 6, that would be a way to do it. Now, I use GS Hypo for this portion of it. I know that Leather Core USA says that Loctite is the best. I find that to be the case if I'm gluing it in a cordon or if I'm doing something or I'm gluing something to leather. When it comes to when I'm using leather within a jewelry piece itself, I want there to be movement, and this dries like rubber cement, basically. So it has more give. Whereas this and other super glues, I have found that it crystallizes. And then if there's something happens and that glue cracks, it takes the coloring off with it. Also, I like, even when I have these little short, little 2 loop ones, I like to take my needle, and you have to move kind of fast because it starts spitting it out right away. And I like to go right into the middle of the knot itself. I should have wiped that off before I went near the leather, but I can take any excess off. I'm not as sensitive to this rubber cement as I am to other glues. It doesn't, like, my hands don't start feeling hot. Other glues, that's what happens. My hands start to feel hot. And I don't get that with this, but especially don't use your cutters if you have glue here, just saying. So I'm gonna go ahead and oops, janky cutters. And I'm gonna clip that there, and I'm gonna clip the other side. And I learned like I knew how to macrame, but when it came to learning to use leather in jewelry and stuff like that, I learned a lot of that from Kelly Sutton. So she likes to use a Sharpie in order to, if you don't like the natural color showing like that, she uses a Sharpie. I use my cord burner and I quote unquote tan it. And I don't want to burn it, I just want to tan it. And that's all it takes. Just a couple of little quick, and it's done and it's ready to go. That one, no. So you just go in and you just tamp down where the cord end is showing. You don't want to do it till they're like crispy, because then they're crispy. So I got the link for this chargeable thread burner from Becky. And I like it. There are still some things like when I want to like make the needle end that I use either the traditional one or a lighter for, because I can move quicker with that. This is bigger, so it just takes up more space, but that's all I do. Okay, so now next thing I want to show you guys how to do is make your own jump rings. That's another beauty of making your own jewelry, because this allows you to have everything matched. Now, this is what was on the spool of thread before I ever opened it. So you'll see there's like a little hook right here, and then this wire is curved around it. So I have this big piece of wire that, unless you cut like here and then cut that off and then cut there, it probably wouldn't be as usable for most people. For me, this becomes jump ring. Cooper, no. This becomes jump ring. I also do that if like I don't know why my focus is not working today. Sorry about that. I have too much stuff on the mat. Or if I like have to undo something, I use that for jump rings. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna make these. Well, do I want 2 or do I want 3? We have the leather. 2 should be enough. Okay. And I'm just going to curve around, and this is 18 gauge wire. And I like to create a little bit of space between the links as I go around. I know like Samantha Latimer keeps them close and tight, and then uses another piece of wire kind of in the shape of an L to go through and do all of that. But you guys know your girl, if there's a shortcut to be had, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna use it. And then even when I get down to the end of this wire, I grab my pliers and I continue to bend it around. Maybe if you're not Struggle Bus USA over here. Okay. That way I get as many jump rings out of this piece of bare brass wire, especially when it's copper or bare brass wire. I like to do this. Now I have my double flush cutters, but I cut something I shouldn't have, and I need to rebuy them. So you guys are going to see the old school way. I'm going to cut flush. Come on. I just got these. There we go. I cut them flush, and then I just flip my pliers and line it up, and I cut the other side. Then I'm going to go, and I'm going to cut this side flush again, flip my plier or my cutters, and go to the other side and cut again. And I'm going to keep doing that until I have all of my jump rings cut. Come on. I didn't go up high enough to cut that. This is supposed to be able to cut to 16 gauge wire. Hold on. These are the ones that I originally got that then I did something to. And I need to get another pair of these gray and black ones because you can see they're making much quicker pace of this 18 gauge wire than the other pair were, even though they have all of the same numbers on them. So oops, I shot a piece of metal into my thumb. Ugh. I don't know how I did that. Hold this for a minute. Don't know how I did that. You can check in that piece of wire, Heather. The difference is the metal they are made of. Oh, okay. Which ones? The double flush cutters or the Knipex cutters? I bought the Knipex cutters on Amazon after hearing about them from Linda. Yeah, she's had hers for 3 years. The double flush cutters. Here, I'll go look real quick because I still have this window open. Cooper, we are not acting like that. Stop. Let me go check real quick. Just hold on. Okay, so the gray ones, which I need to reorder, and I'm probably just gonna do so right now. The Knipex tools are $28.69 right now. So this is the pair I recommend. There is the option with the lead cutter, which if I had a pair like that, I wouldn't still be bleeding from shooting it in. And then there's the 5-inch without the lead. So the one with the lead catcher is $10 more expensive than the one without in the 5-inch. The 5.5-inch without the lead cutter is $37.59. So it's just up to you and which you prefer wherever you live. I could order either and have them tomorrow. So I don't know. Linda, do you use one that has a thread cutter? Yeah, you got it on Amazon. Oh, it's the difference of the metal they're made of. Okay, got you. Let me get the link for the Nifx. You guys can decide which one you want. They're all in the same listing. So those are the Nifx cutters, and they are the ones that Linda uses. And like I said, you can decide which ones you want. I don't know. I might try the ones with the lead cutter. And then the Xuron ones, the double flush cutters, they are more temperamental. But if you use them and take care of them, I've had my double flush cutters for years now, and I love them. They are $18 with $3 delivery. I don't know why that is, but here is the link for the double flush cutters. Those are not affiliate codes. I don't know how to do that yet. I need to because I share so much stuff with you guys. I need to have Becky or Jenny. They both offered to show me, and I just haven't taken them up on it. Okay, there we go. We're back in business now. Alrighty, so we have our jump rings here. I don't think that I cut enough, but I'm hoping so. So you guys don't have to stay here. I have some in 20 gauge over here that I could use as well, but all right. So as I was saying, let's do the cat's paw knot really quickly. I don't think I would anywhere near leather. I'm gonna pull out a good, let's see here. Where's my long ruler? I'm gonna say that I'm gonna want to do 24, and then I'm gonna add a couple of inches to that, about 26 inches, I would say. That's what I'm gonna cut. You'll be able to see the size, the way it turns out, and everything else when you see mine, and then you can adjust the length of leather after seeing that. Okay. I will forewarn you, I have not mastered this knot. I know how to do it, but there's always a time that like I have to start over, and it's because of my memory recall issues. I did watch the video that Kelly has to do it again. So this knot is called the cat's paw knot. And the reason I like it is because the strands of leather are separated. Whereas when you do a barrel knot, they're right next to each other. So you have to be really careful about which beads you put down at the knot part of it. Oh, what am I doing? We do not need 20 foot. I forgot. I'm joining this onto something else. So we do not need that much leather. That was almost a disaster. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, I'm going to cut 10 inches. That might be way too much, but like I said, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So this knot starts in what looks to be a lark's head knot. So you're just going to fold your leather in half. You're going to go through the loop, and then you're going to pull your 2 strands through. Okay. Then this is where things get tricky and temperamental. You're gonna want to hold on to your leather on both sides like this. And then you're gonna want to twist the donut itself I believe it's 4 times. Come on, you can do one more. Okay. Then you grab onto your 2 pieces of leather and you start pulling the knot down. And you just kind of tug up at the top carefully, especially if you are using 1mm wire. You want to coax it down slowly. Just slowly start pulling it down a little bit at a time. And as you can see, there's separation in between. It's much like using a standard crimp. This is, and they tell you make sure that your wires aren't crossed. It has that same channel effect right there. So, and I did it perfectly the same time. I'm so happy with myself. I'm going to undo it, which is very easy to do. I'm going to undo it so I can show you again. Now, you can put as many loops as your heart desires. Just make sure that you do it in even numbers. Otherwise, one side will have more wraps down here than the other one will. And you can see this comes undone very easily. So that's why I'm like, yep. Oh, if you guys need coffee, I can wait. Unless you guys already know how to do a cat's paw knot. And that's why you're like, I can go grab a cup of coffee. Okay. Do it again. Just like a lark's head knot, right? Fold your leather in half. You're gonna put it through the wreath and bring it back up to the top of the wreath, like so. You're gonna bring your 2 strands through, just as you would to complete a lark's head knot, only you're not going to. And you do need to have a relatively big loop here because I don't know if you saw, but as I twisted, this got more and more separated. So you're going to need to have quite a big loop so that you have the room to wrap the donut. So you're going to separate them and you're going to use your other fingers to kind of just twist. So there was one. I think I let go. See how there's a twist on this side, but not on the other side? That's what I meant by, that's why you need an even number. Okay. I don't think I made my loop big enough last time. All right, we're going to pull through. We're going to separate our pieces of leather. Okay. And we're going to wrap once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And then you're going to very carefully bring your 2 sides together and we're going to start tightening it down. The easiest way to tighten it is to push the strands down. Uh-oh, I didn't get enough wrap. I must not have looped it as many times as I thought I did. Or is it just... No. If you want a shorter paw or a shorter knot, here you can see it's only doing it as if I only wrapped it twice. But I went ahead and showed you that, and then I'm going to wiggle this out and we're going to try again. Thankfully, this knot comes out pretty easily, and if you are being nice to your leather, meaning you're not using your thumbnails or things like that when you're tightening it, or tightening it, your leather will stand. You will, if you've worked with leather, you'll know when your leather is like, I'm done. Okay, hold on to both sides. We're gonna twist it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. We're going to kind of push it together, and then we're gonna grab onto our, oops. It did it again. I must be doing a half turn or something. Either way, it works. It's just driving me nuts. I must have been doing half turns instead of a full turn, and that's why 4 only got me 2 loops. I'm not sure. Anyways, we're not going to need to do, okay, I gotta do it again so I can see. And when I use my thumbnail, I'm very, very careful not to mar my leather. All right, let's see. What am I doing wrong here? I think it's just that I'm not realizing that I didn't go all the way around. Okay, so let's try this again. We're gonna go once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. That feels much tighter like the first, not that good. Okay, so make sure you actually do a full twist, because apparently I was not. And again, you're just gonna slowly tighten this by kind of pushing the knot down and wiggling the 2 strands up. Yeah, that's all it was. I wasn't doing full twists. I was doing half twists. So there you go. It has a really cool knot. This is definitely one I should have stopped before I did the last tightening. That you want to get the glue in there really well. Now, we're not going to be stringing any beads onto our leather, but we need to be able to make a connection to go to our first beaded component. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a little barrel knot at the same spot. Trying to decide if I want to put the bead in or if I just want to attach to that with a ring. Which do I want to do? I think I want to attach with the jump ring like the rest of the piece. Okay, so I'm just doing a traditional barrel knot. It's a little finicky because there's this other piece of leather, and I may not have cut enough. If you are new to barrel knots, you're gonna want to cut a longer piece of leather than what I did. So I did 10 inches. I would recommend doing 12. Come on. Hello. Just work with me here. I have more than enough leather to do it. That's what's annoying me. Okay, got my loop. Up over once. And then twice, and it's spinning. Okay. Well, 12 inches of leather is going to work better. So I'm going to cut a new piece of leather, giving me just a little bit more room. And this is what happens. Like, this is why a lot of creators, including myself, say, I'd rather have too much than not enough. And the reason is I will find a use for this leather, but if I wasn't going to do that, this has now been wasted and I have to cut an entire other piece of leather off of my cord. So that's why we all say that. There's a reason. It's not just because it's like cute or whatever. That's the reason, especially with wire. It's a lot harder to find uses for that. Okay, so this is 12. I'm gonna go ahead and leave myself a little bit more. I'll give myself probably 14 inches. So at least you'll get to see the knot again. In case you've never done this knot before, my mistake means that you get to see this again. So again, you're gonna loop your leather through the middle of the donut. You're going to pull up a pretty sizable loop. Make sure that it's not twisted, that like none of these strands are twisted. That's really important. Pull that through. You're now going to separate your two strands and you're going to pinch them in place. And we're going to go once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Then you're going to grab pretty tightly and you're going to slowly push your pieces of leather back towards each other. And then you're going to start tightening the knot, which you're just going to push it down. And then you're going to kind of wiggle, 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 wiggle. And you're going to push it down, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And I went apparently more times than I needed to because I have an extra set of knots, but that's okay. The only reason I'm concerned is because I didn't have enough last time to do the barrel knots. Okay, so now you can see what it looks like with even more. It's just really, I really like this knot a lot. There we go. Okay, sorry. One of my loops was trying to cut in line, so I needed to fix that. And you can show it with either way being the front. If you like it where the top loop crosses over both, leave it that way. If you want them completely separated and that's the way you want to show it, you can absolutely do so. Like I said, I think I went around a time too much. Okay, now we're just going to make our little barrel knot right here. And now that I have enough leather, I'll be able to do it. Okay, you need to stay out of the way, sir. My hands are not wanting to work today, if you cannot already tell. Okay, we're going to come up under once. Twice, you stay out of my way. And then we're going to go in the barrel knot tube. Or tube bead, metal tube bead. Oh, that loop is way bigger than I want it to be. So I'm going to carefully scooch this knot down so I can take and undo this barrel knot really quick. I'm just going to pull the loop out. Make sure it's not going to knot anywhere else. And there we go. I'm done. Now you've seen how to undo a barrel knot, something I never saw on the internet when I was trying to learn them. And it drove me bonkers that I could not find anybody that was teaching how to undo them so that if you made it wrong, you could fix it. Okay, once, twice, stay out of my way. We're going to go in the barrel knot tube. We're going to pull it out. And I'm going to be really careful that as I'm tightening mine, I'm not leaving a really long loop. I want it to be similar to the loop size of the other pieces, but not like completely crazy. Okay, there we go. This will also help hold this knot into place so it doesn't undo itself. Okay, on to the other side. And I cannot do for some reason, I can't turn it over and do it. I have to keep it facing the same way that it was on the first one. I don't know why. It's just the way my brain works. Okay, once, twice. Nope, nope. Okay, I should have just like picked a beat or something so that I wasn't trying to do all of this right under itself. But it's okay. This is how we learn. This may have been better in practice than in theory. And I couldn't exactly practice this because I only had so much of this 1 millimeter leather. I didn't have enough to do a practice round of this. So I apologize for that. That your teacher was not prepared. Okay, around once, twice, through leather. Nope, it just came undone. Why can't I do this? If you just want to do barrel knots and join it like with the loop at the top of the cat's paw knot, you are more than willing to do so. I'm going to try to go the other way and see if I can get. Okay. So I'm just having a hard time keeping my loop looped. That's all. Once, twice, through the barrel knot. Two. Here we go. Do not let that unravel. That's the part that's catching me up, is that it keeps trying to unravel. And it did it again here too. What is going on, Heather? All right, let me look at this. I'm used to doing this close to my body, so that is part of the issue. I wonder if I do it to myself. And that's all it took. I just had to hold it the way I normally do when I make stuff. So I apologize, but I want to keep going so we can get this done. Okay, so now we are going to glue inside of our loops, and then we will cut off the ends. And if you all thought that was tricky, you hadn't watched me try to close my glue. Okay. Let's take our covers we don't use for anything else anymore. And now it's all just a matter of assembly. So I'm going to hold on just a second, please. Sorry about that. I had to confirm for my doctor's appointment real quick. All right. Now we just take jump rings. And I know I cut all those 18-inch ones, but I'd also cut all of these 20 gauge ones, and there's more of the 20 gauge ones. So we're going to use those so I don't have to cut more. Okay, so like I said, I want to do 3 of the pebbles and then 1 of the leather. 3 of the pebbles, 1 of the leather. So we're just going to take our pliers. Where did my bent chain nose pliers go? I swear it's like my tools are like the toys in Toy Story. We're just going to open it up. We're going to put on one of our links. And then we're just going to close it up. I should have made sure that all of my loops are facing the same way real quick. Those ones are good. That one is good. This one is good, but it's a little bent. Yes. Little quarter turn on that one. That one's fine. Probably just the very first one I picked up that was off. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. And this is a really good layering necklace. Like, I could pull out the beaded chain, and I might just do it, that came in the Thunder Horse Descendant Christmas boxes, and have that be like maybe cut just enough for like a 16 or 17-inch necklace, like a really short one. Because I've got plenty, because I got 2 boxes, and I believe there was a bunch in each piece. Like, it took an entire, I believe that each chain needed its own compartment in the large form. Okay, here we go. Now we're just gonna grab our jump rings. I'm gonna open them up, add another stone, close up the jump ring. And I'm sorry, I just realized I've probably been off camera because I'm still super zoomed in. That's what I needed to do. Okay, that's closed. Grab our next jump ring, open it, that, slide it on. And then for the next one, this is where we're going to introduce our first leather link. And I did this, I made these exact same loops when I decided to do the chain challenge, or like the beaded chain challenge, with Becky one year. And I just wanted something different. I also did something much, oh, Heather, you forgot your bead. I also did something similar, but to the way this knot looks, except for instead of a barrel knot, there was a crimp tube, and I did it with soft flex scraps. So all of my little scraps of soft flex, I made little links out of, and I had a ton of black ones, so I only used black ones, but that was a couple of years ago now. So if you get the Softflex box every month and you get the different color, you could definitely do a multicolored bracelet just by using the different colors of the Softflex. Okay, we're back to our next link. And we may not need all 6 of these. I could have made smaller jump rings, but what do you guys think so far? Are you seeing the vision? Like with the beaded? I'm sorry, I haven't been watching. Yes, you can use a straw. I knew it started with a C, but couldn't think of it. The pointed bottom of the gypsum is called the cullet. Oh, I did not know that. I hope you feel better, Renee. I'm confused. Your holy window. I prefer to use the tube beads over the straw method. Oh wait, we're not using the big ones. Just because the straw has give. So if you're trying to do your knots, you can compress down the straw, which then makes it harder to pull it out from the middle of the knot, if that makes sense. So, I taught this, Dorothy. Did you miss that? I showed it twice, but I can make another one once I'm done attaching this. I just did it using a 6-inch piece of leather. And obviously you could only have 2 links. You could switch the you could go back and forth between the bead and the leather, bead and the leather, bead and the leather. Like, I think this would be really pretty if you did like a pearl link in between these like leather links. I think that could be really pretty. This another form of this is another way to do a leather pearl earring. Only one loop is big, and then the pearls on the bottom, and the loop up top is small, and that's where you attach the ear wire. So there's multiple ways of using this little leather. You don't have to make the leather links as large either. Like, you can just leave it. I'm gonna go ahead and do it the other side, and I might end with the leather and just attach the lobster clasp on the other side and just have this be the catch. I mean, you could make it longer, what I like to call sweater necklaces, because so this would be 20 inches right now, not including the space that this takes up. So if I did it if I did another repeat or just even did the 3 beads, it would be a 24-inch necklace. So that's not too bad. Yeah, no, I'm going to go ahead and finish it with the beads, like I said, like I had originally planned. Because that way the clasp isn't directly on the leather, which I was trying to avoid. I may have to cut some more jump rings though. This is it'll make it a 24-inch, well, a little bit longer once I tack the clasp to it. But okay, there's that side. Let's do the other side. I probably could have joined some of these together. Let me grab some 20 gauge wire. I have to open a new spool, so I will have another piece of the wire. And I saw that you said that I could straighten the piece of wire, and that's very true. I just like to use it for making jump rings because I always need jump rings. So it's just kind of a thing that I like to do to keep my waste as minimal as possible. Because sometimes you're making something and then you're like, it didn't turn out. And you can't just like start over or whatever else. It's just a good way to use up that scrap instead of just throwing the piece of wire in the garbage. And like I said, if I can get like 3 jump rings out of a scrap, and sometimes depending upon the wire that I'm using, even more than that. I mean, as you can see, I wrap it all the way, like the whole way, because that's just the way I like to do it. So just once I cut this one, I should be able to use my double flush cutters on the rest of these because it's not as thick of wire. Or I could be wrong. Yep, that's not going to happen. Now I just wasted a jump ring. But it's okay. I'm not explaining it. I'm going to go much faster at this as far as cutting them. I'm going to grab I have a bunch of these for different tasks. This one's too small for my thumb. Where's the next size up? You can use these, like sometimes I use them when I'm doing gluing, like if I'm going to be using a lot of glue. This time I'm using them so as not to get the wire stuck in my thumb again like I did earlier. So just as a layer of protection. They're really good for when you're doing when you're using a hot glue too though. And because they're silicone, they don't hello. Like if you're using hot glue, your thumb's gonna get warm, but nowhere near to burning level. so. And I don't think this is anywhere near enough jump rings, but I could be wrong. Look at this. This was supposed to be a short form video, and it's not turning out to be one. The only problem is then when you get down to the last jump ring, sometimes having this silicone on makes it a little bit trickier. There we go. That glass. Alrighty. Put my silicone thumb away. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Yes, I like being able to say that on my listings. That everything is handmade, especially when using a more rustic type of bead or natural looking, like these pebble beads. I really like doing it on things with beads like this. So it's just kind of, I like to call, I can't remember why boho has a negative connotation to it, which I mean, Randy's explained it and I don't remember. So I like to say rustic elegance rather than boho. It's also way overused now. That term is used for everything now. And so I just came up with another way of saying it so that as both not to offend anybody, but also just so everybody knows it's a little bit easier to describe. But thank you, Linda. That means a lot for you to say that. I really appreciate that. And you could use faux leather for this. I use it for some stuff, but not very often. It's just not my thing. Plus, it breaks so easily, so easily. And so then it's like, is it even worth it? Because you're going to get a phone call from that customer who bought it from you, and they're going to say, this broke when I was just taking it off. I mean, you can get that with leather too. You just don't get it as often. At least I haven't. I like to use wood beads a lot, like really good wood beads. I will tell you, I have tried so many times to like stain my own wood beads, and unless it's a large bead, it's very time consuming. So find a vendor, because you literally have to do it each piece by hand. Because I've tried all of the different ways that the internet says to do it, dilute the stain and stick it in a Tupperware container and just shake it every once in a while. That's the method that they use. You'll be able to tell because around the center of the bead, it never dies. It always is different. So yes. Wait, what? Oh, short form or long form, correct. I just have heard it used as the term for like if you're not showing the entire process, like you're not making each link live. Like you already have some portions of the piece of jewelry made ahead of time. Is where I got that long form, short form thing. Cause yeah, I know like the reels and stuff that you can do that are like 3 minutes or whatever else, but outside of my Quinn, outside of like my like if I were to demonstrate my jump ring, I don't know that I could do it to 3 minutes. I just that seems so like I would be stressed out the whole time worrying, am I going to be able to do it? But I'm sure if you know how to edit, it's easier. I just don't know how. So Miranda's been telling me I need to get on TikTok. And I'm like, oh, that's a whole new like set of instructions and whatever else. So now this is short enough, or I mean, sorry, not short enough. It is long enough that you could very easily put it over your head. Well, actually, it's not as long as I thought it was going to be. Okay, well, looky here. Why is this one shorter? Did I miss a pebble? My pebbles must have been. What the heck is going on? My pebbles on one side must have been way longer than the other side. So I think the easiest way to rectify that would be to just put the longer one as the one that has the jump ring clasp, and then I'm going to make the clasp so I can continue to say that it is entirely homemade or handmade. Um, and then the rest of the clasp will take up the space on the other side. 18 gauge. Where'd you go? Here we are. Okay, I'm just gonna cut a couple of inches. It's not gonna be like anything big or anything. I'm going to do my little hybrid loop. Where did you put yours? Right there. I'm gonna go directly into the hoop or into the loop on the last one, and I'm going to attach it. Okay, which side was the shorter side? Yeah, one of my leather links is longer than the other. Okay, well, here you go, Dorothy. You're gonna get to see how I do it again. Because I'm gonna make one that's a little bit longer. So you're gonna take 6 inches of wire or leather, just like that. You're gonna fold it over onto itself like so, and then back around. So you're gonna have an oval here, and then you're going to have a length of leather here. Then you're going to take your barrel knot tube, place it over the knot, and you're going to go once, twice. You're going to go down through the tube. Oh, nope. Not that way, Heather. You're going to pull it out and you're going to carefully knot it. Now, since I need this one to be longer, I'm going to measure it up against this last. It's still not big enough. Holy cow. Okay, pull that out a little bit. I'm just going to measure it up with that. I think that's going to do it. And then I'm just going to tighten up my link, just like that. We'll grab the GS Hypo out. This one seems to go back in, but that's okay because that's the one we can adjust more easily. There might not be any scrap on this one side. Okay. Okay. And there we go. GS Hypo. I normally have my office door closed while I'm doing the live so that you guys don't hear my dogs and I don't have to like stop as often. Okay. Sorry, I needed to get the excess glue off my fingers. Alrighty, and then we're just gonna cut the end again. We're going to do what I call tanning the wood or tanning the leather rather than using a Sharpie. If you don't like the look of the natural leather at the ends, you just grab your thing and you just tap, tap, tap. So once your your cord bender gets hot enough, and there you go. All right, so now we are going to swap out this shorter link. That was a shorter link? Yes. Yes. Because it was lining up the whole way down until that last leather link. So if it was like only slightly different, I probably wouldn't put forth the effort of making another one of these, but it was quite a bit different. So I'm still going to make this my clasped side because it's still just barely smaller. Okay, back to this. So I am going to connect this directly into the loop. And I'm gonna squish that close, find my little bent chain nose, swap that, grab it, and pull it around till it meets where the loop originally started. I'm gonna cut that off on the side. Like so. And then I'm just going to do, let's see, do I want to loop it this end? a teeny tiny baby loop. Let's see if I can get it. And then I'll just make a little hook. I knew that was gonna happen. Ooh, I know how to fix that. I forgot. If you squish the end of your metal in the box joint, it's a form of work hardening, but I've also found it easier to turn smaller loops when it is kind of pushed down like that. This has a really long straight piece. So turn that in. I'm gonna grab my crimper. Rosanna actually brought this up during her live video today that I used a tool. I just put it in the notches of my crimper so that it's not it doesn't like skip when you go to fold it back on itself, I guess. It's the easiest way to explain that, if that's easy. And then I'm just gonna grab my pliers again. I'm gonna go about 4 millimeters off the end there, and then I'm just gonna roll it around. And there is my clasp. I am going to kind of work hard on this bit a little bit. The rest of it is, I will tell you that the bare bronze wire is more reminiscent of German style wire. So, you could go and hammer that if you wanted to. You could just use the box joint in your 6-set bail making pliers. Or the 18 gauge wire is just fine. And then, like I was saying, we could, if we wanted to, you could even do a second layer using this other beaded cord, and I think that would be really pretty together. Or a simple like pearl necklace would be pretty as well with this. But let me move my tools and I will zoom it out. And so much for this being short, because it still took me 2 hours to do it. So there, like I was saying, if you wanted to, you could, and I might just, you could cut a separate length and just put that with the other. And then you just decide which side you like it on. It's up to you. I like the crisscross in the back. And those landed where the line wasn't straight, but I kind of like the line not being there because it sits more flush with the barrel knots. But there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope I taught it in a way that gave you confidence to go and try to do it yourself. No, I just had to watch the video on how to do the cat's paw knot again, because I haven't used it for a while. But when I was first learning the barrel knot, it was so hard for me to learn. So yes, I really like it. So it's defined as using natural minerals on a reopen style. Yeah. Okay, here we go. What are we looking for? I think you, oh no, not there. I'm glad that you guys like it. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, there you go. Bow as you, yes. Thank you, Linda. Glad that happened. Thanks for you didn't know that. That's good. That's why I like doing this. At the end of the day, it is designer's choice on how you say it and how you decide to portray it. There was a lot of negative connotation about it because of now that somebody said gypsy. I reminded it because that was something that was not looked upon kindly in history. So, that's why. But I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I hope that, yeah, you guys learned something, if not from me in chat, which is always fun. I put this on my bust, but it's gonna be too long. Hold on. Let me go over here. It's gonna be too long. But if I pull it up, there, you can see it. It's not heavy like the leather. It's nice and free flowing, and I really like it. I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm glad that you guys had fun today and that you enjoyed the tutorial. And again, that even if you didn't learn something from me, as you were already well versed in any portion of this design or the entire design, that you were able to contribute in chat and learn something there. And thank you guys for coming. I greatly appreciate it. I know that you guys have plenty of other channels that you could spend your time watching. So the fact that you choose to spend your time with me means a lot. I will see you guys all soon. If you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up, subscribing, possibly sharing this link. I know I'll be sending it to Kim. I guess she didn't see in the comments that I was doing leather Randy's video this morning. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.